Hello fellow sim racers and welcome to this video talking about Le Mans Ultimate 1.4 update release video, the official video from Le Mans Ultimate showing the 1.4 update, which will be releasing 28th of July, so next week, next Tuesday, which will be coming with Laguna Seca and Daytona, and obviously very anticipated 1.4 update. Now in the video they are showing some of the features coming in this new update and also some of the fixes and stuff like that, and there's also a bit of a glimpse of the patch notes, so I would like to talk a little bit about that. I don't know about you, but I'm obviously extremely excited about Daytona and Laguna Seca coming to Le Mans Ultimate, because I just want to share really quickly a little story. Last year at Sim Racing Expo in October, I met Stephen Hood and we were talking about, he was very excited talking about Le Mans Ultimate, stuff like that, and I literally specifically remember telling him, I was like, mate, if Le Mans Ultimate will ever get American tracks, you don't need a license for IMSA, just American tracks. It's gonna be huge. Like, you guys getting Daytona could be the massive thing, and it's actually happening. Like, I'm really excited about that, because I think getting those 6 tracks will be big for Le Mans Ultimate. But I'm also putting a lot of pressure on 1.4 update, because I was not very happy with many things on 1.3 update, especially like the game stability, you know, some issues, you know, and I was just not very happy with this update in general. So I am putting a lot of pressure on 1.4, including also maybe some video pressure. If there's going to be something really broken about the game, something we really need to fix, because there are some things in the game even now that are same as in Air Factor 2, and they're like groundbreaking for certain things. I just don't want to talk about it right now, but I really am dedicating the same thing that I did with Assetto Corsa Competizione. I really want to be critical for the future, because I really enjoy Le Mans Ultimate, same as I enjoy ACC or enjoyed ACC, but I really want it to be the best possible version of itself, because like when you actually drive, the game is fantastic, you know, but there's things that are broken or should not be broken for a long time. So I'm gonna dedicate a bit of that in the future, like to maybe put some pressure on the studio or developers if it's not fixed. So let's go. I think the first feature is pretty welcome, because in a 1.3 update, which was very good, they introduced the badges and like the stewarding system and like the protest system and stuff like that. And apparently there was like 4,500 temporary bans ever since. And there was also a lot of bans at the day of release, basically, for like intentional wrecking and stuff like that, which I think is very good feature. And now there's gonna be a feature where actually you can protest straight from the replay. There's gonna be like a function in a replay where you can literally like flag a situation. Let's say you got intentionally wrecked in a race. I think it's all about intentional wrecking, basically, because I think that's the biggest problem. And you can flag intentional wrecking right away in the replay, which will shorten the time of the response and stuff like that. So the people doing it will get into trouble way quicker, or maybe even during like an endurance race. Let's say imagine you're doing a 6-hour race, and during the race there's gonna be someone intentionally wrecking. There's gonna be possibility to get rid of it right away, basically. So I think it's a very welcome feature. I think that replay feature looks very good, because also I remember talking to one of the developers of the game, and I was told that there is about 90, they're getting, I think in the video they actually said it, Stephen Hood said there's a 700 protests per day, and it's basically not sustainable for them, because it takes like 5 minutes to deal with the protest. So it's like longer, it takes so much time, basically. So now they make it a different way, which hopefully will improve the life of the sim racers in Le Mans Ultimate. But I remember also the big problem was, as I was told by developer long time ago, that they are getting like 90% of the protests are literally useless. It's like Ban Caracas meme that we have on a George and my channel. Like, where basically driver lost control of the car and blame driver 5 meters behind him, you know what I mean? Like, and those like are literally useless protests, you know, like oh my god, this guy ruined my race, but there is nothing, for example, you know. And I remember I see this all the time. I'm in a free practicing for my race, and there's a guy arguing with some other guy, like, you fucking idiot, you ruined my race, ruined my practice. And I watch the replay because I'm curious, and there's nothing, you know, there's nothing going on. You know, nothing important. And they protest, you know, like, I feel like there are people just like, I don't know, let's just say a little bit crazy, and going crazy with the protests for no reason whatsoever, right? Which I think this feature should help a lot, because I personally think the biggest problem is the intentional wrecking. I personally cannot imagine being steward like on iRacing or low fuel motorsport in ACC, you know, or Le Mans Ultimate, because I literally know 80% or 90% of the protests are useless, basically. It's like, it's just people being angry, you know, like that's basically it. So I hope this might also help filtering that, because I think the biggest problem is the intentional wrecking. Like, obviously it sucks if you get crashed in a race, but if you're doing championship race, the person can get a penalty, you know, but in daily racing, like, there's not much you can do, right? But I think the intentional wrecking is the biggest problem. We need to get rid of it in every single sim. iRacing, ACC, everywhere. So hopefully this will help for LMU a little bit more. I would definitely say this is like a very good and welcome feature from my POV. I'm very curious how this will work. I wouldn't mind if they would also make the bands bigger. There's a very big change for the online foundation of the game. They call it like a race OS. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what Steven is talking about. Apparently it's gonna make the game better. So, like, the game already has like, I think the netcode in Le Mans Ultimate is like the best netcode in any sim racing game we have currently. The contact physics as well is like absolutely fantastic in my opinion. There are some annoying bugs. I don't know if this will help. There's like 10-year-old bug where if the car in front of you, for example, has some game freeze, he's a brick and you destroy yourself over him. I don't know if this will fix it, but I think this has to be fixed in the future. Like, this has to get out of this game, 100%, right? But let's see if this race OS will help in the online. Maybe it will bring more stability. I have no idea. I don't know what Steven is talking about. Let's trust him and see. The next feature is something I would like to talk a little bit longer for. It's for Race and Pro and Race Pro Plus members. So it's like something you have to pay for. It's like if you basically do online, if you just do online daily racing on Le Mans Ultimate, then you're not probably doing the Pro or Pro Plus race control. But if you are doing like online championships and stuff like that, then you're obviously using Pro and Pro Plus feature. And the first thing is you get longer practice sessions and more practice sessions, which I think is very welcome. I personally don't think it's greatest thing to put it behind like I would give it to everyone, like because the daily races practice servers are like terrible. Like, you get 20-minute practice, like very late minute, you know. I don't understand why is it like that. There's probably a reason for it to be like that. But I personally hate it when I want to go on daily, like practice for daily races, and the server is like 10 minutes, and I literally do 3 laps, and then I have to wait like another 20 minutes for the server to go live again, and stuff like that. I don't very like it. I guess this will help in a way, because I'm obviously the Pro Plus, because I'm doing online championships. But I would be rather if it'll be like a default thing in the game, you know. So I like this function, but I very don't. I kind of understand they have to make more money, but I kind of don't like. I like it as when I'm a Pro Plus member, I will get extra features, but at the same time, I think everybody should get more free practice, you know? Like, would you guys understand? What is your opinion on this? Let me know. And the second thing that's here to talk about, it's also, again, for Pro and Pro Plus members of Race Control, is a big thing, I would say. It's called a Joker, which, as far as I understand, if I get wrecked in the race, then after the race, instead of losing 50% of my driver rating for no reason because guy behind me forgot to brake from 100 meters or intentionally wrecked me or something, I can apply the Joker and the results will count, but I will not lose or gain any driver rating or safety rating. Basically, like, it's like it's like a safety feature. So it's basically like, I had a horrible race, something terrible happened, and instead of losing like 20%, 30% of very hard earned rating, I will not lose any. I can use this Joker once in 10 races, and I can have stuck up to 3 Jokers at the same time. So every 10 races, I can use this one time. So let's say I do a daily race, somebody caused a mayhem in the first corner, I would lose 10-20% of my rating. I use this Joker, I lose nothing, but I still finish, let's say, P3. I cannot farm this, I cannot do anything extra with it, but it's, again, only Plus and Pro members. I I'm very confused with this feature because I like it on one way and I hate it at the same time. Like, let me just explain why. One of the things I really like in Le Mans Ultimate is trying to farm the driver rating. It is extremely difficult, and if you are not doing any exploits or like, yeah, exploits, if you're not doing any exploits, getting the driver rating to like platinum is like beating Elden Ring game, you know, literally like it's really difficult because, for example, my example, guys, I'm doing like European Le Mans Series championship races, the endurance races, and I gained like, I think the most I gained was like, I don't know, 10% per like very successful race when I beaten the best drivers in the game. But usually I'm getting like just like 4 or 5%, you know, of rating per race if I have a really good one. Usually it's like 1-2%, you know. So and then I did a race where I lost connection. My internet just died. Like, it was my fault. My internet just died. And I finished 12 from 14 cars. And I lost 48% of my driver rating. Like, I could not believe it, personally. And literally, just to explain, that was 2.5, almost 3 months of progress. So for 3 months, I was getting those 48%. And I lost them in one disconnect, right? And I hated it, and I was like, come on, this is so stupid, right? Losing so much. But at the same time, it's like the same for everyone, right? And I was like saying, maybe the game should introduce a maximum driver rating you can gain from the race and a maximum driver rating you can lose from the race. Because as I said, there are people exploiting the driver rating. Apparently it's going to be fixed in 1.4, but there has been some people exploiting driver ranking gain in driver swap races. I will not explain here how, but basically you finish the race, you get like 200-300%, you know, so you will see there are some platinum drivers that should not be platinum. They are quick, but should not be platinum. But then you have people who lose so much rating, like, I don't know, Henry Gamble lost like one day wheel disconnected, one day he lost connection, and one day his PC crashed, right? He lost like 1.5 license. And obviously in those scenarios, the Joker would make a lot of sense. But at the same time, for me personally, it takes away a bit of a thrill. Again, let me explain. I can totally understand someone who is driving daily races. He does 20 races per day and he gets taken out or intentionally wrecked. I think the Joker is like super good thing, you know? Like, I think it's fantastic thing because you can like use it 1 per 10 races. And like you have a really bad race and you move the driver rating and it's not that bad. But at the same time, it kind of like, for me, it removes the thrill of gaining the rating, because like for me it's like the adventure getting that rating, like 1%, 2%, 4%, 10%, and then losing 20% for bad race, you know? Yes, it's okay, but I would rather personally what I would want to rather see with the Joker, I would see this. I would do like a maximum limit of the driver rating you can gain and lose, so there's no exploits, and you lose like a logical amount, you know, you don't lose 50% for finishing P12, you know, that's like crazy in my opinion. You lose like 20, you know, or you make more logic around the driver rating, like make it more logical. Like iRacing has a very good way of driver rating, how it works, you know, so like I would learn a little bit from that. Because like, for example, driver rating right now in Le Mans Ultimate is also 25% means from the quali. So, for example, what happened to me and my friends already, you, for example, qualify P5, and then you win the race, but you lose rating. Like, it literally, like, it's crazy, but it happens. And I think there should be, like, more, instead of Joker, I think it would be better if they adjust the driver rating and make it more logical and more, well, better in this way, you know? And then you can play with it properly, because then it's like for some people the driver rating doesn't really matter, but for some it's very important. You know, it obviously matters if you want to be split one and stuff like that. But I don't think the Joker is necessary. I would just make the driver rating better. But what I would do, for example, like the Joker is fantastic thing. Imagine you are in a race and there's some asshole who intentionally wrecks you, like literally on purpose wrecks you, and you just DNF, your race is over, and you lose massive amount of rating, right? Then obviously using the Joker makes so much sense, right? But what I would personally do, instead of this whole Joker thing, I would make it that if you protest the driver, right? If you protest the driver, and they're gonna be like, oh, he intentionally wrecked you, you are correct. This guy's getting 3-day ban, and we're gonna reset your driver rating. I think that would be much better, guys. What do you guys think about this? Like, I personally think this Joker thing. First of all, I don't like what. Okay, like I'm talking about it for a long time, guys, but there's so much to talk about. I would say I like the feature for like a normal driver, like a driver that doesn't have much time for sim racing. You know, you get home after work, your wife is screaming at you at kids, you want to do free races, and some asshole crashes you out, you use the Joker, at least you don't lose your stuff, you know? I think that's, at this case, it's good. Or you get intentionally wrecked. At this point, is good. But when you really like want to like be good, you know, and grind that rating. Like for me, for example, I just want to say an example. In the last year, I DNF'd once. In the last week, I DNF'd 3 times. So I had like, in the last literally year, I DNF'd like 4 races. So basically, I'm not losing too much races. So for example, for me personally, the Joker is like almost a cheat because I literally have like, let's say 10 races in a row, completely fine. And then I have 1 negative race. So I can just keep grinding the rating. But it will remove the thrill for me personally. You know, I literally think it's a positive and negative. I think that, like, making better driver rating system, like improving it a bit more, would be much better because there's so much stuff they can do in Le Mans Ultimate to make it better. Not only by the driver rating, but to make the game, like the personal experience. I'm not talking about driving now, but the personal experience of like, there's no leaderboards, right? There's like nothing, you cannot even check the other drivers' profiles, right? I would love, so for example, the team thing is working very nicely in the game, where you have your own team, right, with the ratings and such. I would love to have, so for example, I have a favorite drivers in the game. Like I race all the time against Henry Gamble, for example. I would love to be able to click on his account and see his results and maybe put him in my favorite list so I can always check it out and see his results and compare my results to his results. That would be a feature I would love so much, right? So much. And I keep talking about it all the time. But another thing I don't like about the Joker, I would say the Joker should be again for everyone. I think it's a huge, obviously, I think, I hate pay to win. I don't think this is pay to win, but I think the Joker should be for everyone. You know, I think I would put the Pro Plus, I would give the Joker to everybody else. Maybe, okay, let's do it this way. They said in a video, Stephen Hood said in a video that you can have maximum of 3 Jokers on your account and you can use it every 10 races, right? I would do it that if you are not paying driver for Race Pro or Race Plus, you can have only 1 Joker per 10 races. And then you have to have another 10 races for have another Joker. And you cannot stack them up. But if you are Pro and Pro Plus, you can stack those Jokers to have 3. You know, like have 3 Jokers extra. Like, because that's how it is with Pro and Pro Plus now. What do you guys think about this? Like, I think this is a big talking point. Because there are people who really love this feature. I noticed, I saw it on my Discord and other Discords. They really like this feature. And then you have drivers who really hate it. Because for some drivers, the driver rating matters a lot. For some drivers, it doesn't. Some drivers have more time to race. Some drivers have less time to drive, you know, and stuff like that. Guys, what do you think about the Joker thing? Let me know. I think it's a big, big talking point. I think what I just said like a minute ago kind of makes sense. So let me know what you think about that. I think there's like so many things they could do with the whole human experience of Le Mans Ultimate to make it more personal, because the Le Mans Ultimate is doing so much better than ACC with their online function. Like, so much better, so much better. Well, I'm gibbering for too long right now about this function, but I want to talk about a little bit more. There's a bit of a glimpse of the patch notes in the video, and one of the things I noticed, they added support for FSR AMD support. So that's interesting for sure. Fix of the net code where there's an invisible car racing on the track. That happened to me at the Spa, and I think there was another car like this on a Saturday 6-hour race. You can no longer Alt F4, like when you have a big incident in Le Mans Ultimate, you could have Alt F4 and the game thought you disconnected, and your friend or you could take over in the pits again with fixed car, basically. It's no longer happening. If you wreck your car, you wreck your car. No more exploits. They are adding punctures. Physically modeled punctures. Oh, hell no. I mean, we already have like a damage wheel in the game. It's like when your tire is flashing red. or like coloring, like it's flashing like this, that means you have a puncture or damaged tire. Now you will actually have a puncture. Oh no! Apparently there's gonna be big change of temperature for the brake pads, which will make a big difference for hypercars, LMP2, LMP3. I'm curious if it's gonna be worse or better. And obviously a lot of other fixes. So what do you guys think about the main things about the 1.4 update? Let me know in the comments, guys. I hope I haven't bored you with too much talking about the Joker thing, but I think it's a very talkative point. So leave a like and subscribe. Thank you very much.